I picked up a nice new trick to avoid being annoyed by phone calls at the beginning of every video. What I do is that I move around a little bit, a few steps, and then I let the call happen and I go back to where I was so that you don't see anything in case you're watching all the videos in sequence, because as many of you are probably aware, that's a trick I often do. I often go to the nearest Pokemon Center to heal myself between parts, and then I go all the way back to where I was to make the viewing experience more fluid for you. But that's not what you wanted to hear me talk about, is it? I'm sure you already saw it if you clicked on this video, the silhouette that's over on Cerebi. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you head over to Cerebi. And yes, this is, after all the bait and switches, after everything they've put us through, it's finally happening! It's a bona fide Generation 5 Pokemon. I am so happy, despite the fact that there's been no official announcement for a game yet. At least we know it's going to happen. Whether it is in 2010 or in 2012, I honestly couldn't care less, because I got something new! The first new Pokemon in over 3 years and a half. I am absolutely stoked right now. So people already started to speculate what the heck it might be. Is this an evolution to this or that Pokemon? And I've seen Lucario and Sandslash come up quite a bit. Come on, Lucario's not going to evolve at all. If it's related, it's going to be a split evolution. But here's my personal theory. Masuda said that this guy was going to be the star of movie 13. So let's suppose for an instant, okay, there doesn't seem to be anything there, but yeah, if the rumors are true that the new games are going to come out as early as 2010, then movie 13 is going to come out right before the Generation 5 games. Just like the Manaphy movie came out like 2 months before Diamond and Pearl. So my theory is that this Pokemon here is the new Manaphy of the 5th generation. That means that yes, it would be a legendary. Well, there's that, and the fact that usually starring roles in Pokemon movies are reserved for legendaries. I am not sure on that because I haven't seen the 8th movie, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, so I don't know if it stars Lucario or Mew, but this might just be the one exception if it indeed starred Lucario instead of Mew. And at the time, a lot of people thought Lucario was going to be a legendary, only to be shot down when the games actually came out. So yeah, that's my theory. It's going to be to Generation 5 what Manaphy was to Generation 4. And maybe even this is just wild speculation at this point. You remember how you could send a Manaphy egg from Ranger 1 to Diamond and Pearl back then, even though Ranger 1 came out before Diamond and Pearl? Well, Ranger 3 is coming out this year, and Generation 5 should, in theory, come out later next year. So maybe, just maybe, there's going to be a special mission involving that Pokemon, and you can send it over to the Generation 5 games, and you would then be able to use it in the Generation 5 games, exactly like you could do with Manaphy with the first 2 Ranger games. But this is just wild speculation. But if my theory is correct, that it's the answer to Manaphy in Generation 5, well, it would just complete the circle, you know? It would be an absolute perfect copy. Well, of course, I'm not talking about the Pokemon, because it looks like it's going to be radically different from Manaphy. Yeah, because that's something else. At least the Pokemon looks like either a legendary or a final form, so at the very least, this generation begins a lot better than Generation 4 did, because Generation 4 started us off with 2 babies, Munchlax and Bonsly, and I loathe babies so much. Okay, now I'm going to come back to the game here, and this is the Trick House. Now, you saw that little sparkle on the table? Well, there's this guy called the Trick Master. Whenever you enter this house, when there's a new trick available, not always, you're gonna have to find this guy. In the first 2 tricks, there's gonna be a little sparkle, but in the last 6, you're gonna have to look in every freaking square of the room to find him. So that's the first step of each trick, finding this guy, and after that, once he's done talking, you go through this scroll. Looks more like a door, but whatever. And then this room, that's the heart of the trick house. There are 8 tricks in total, as I said, and you can't do all 8 right now. Right now I've beaten 2 gyms, and this is the first trick. After I beat each gym, I'm gonna come back here and there's gonna be a new trick, and the 8th trick can only be done after beating the Elite Four, since after the 8th gym, you do the 7th trick, so they needed to, if they wanted to make it 8, so they had to add another one after you beat the Elite Four. But I don't think you can miss out on any tricks. Like, let's suppose, for example, that I wait until I beat Norman to come back here. Well, I think I'm still going to be able to do the 2nd trick, then the 3rd, then the 4th. Now, this one is, of course, the easiest, being the first. It's just a maze with cuttable trees in a house. I'm not really sure how he did it. Maybe there's some patches of soil you don't see. Oh well, you all know what it's called, don't you? Yeah, you do. Nintendo Logic! But anyway, in each trick, except I think the one right after Norman, there are going to be trainers that you have to fight. Well, not necessarily that you have to fight, because you can skip some of them, but of course I recommend fighting them all for the experience. So, you see that little book on the ground there? Well, you could go straight for the door, but if you don't look at that book, you will not be able to open the door, because you need a clue to open the door, and the clue is written on that book. So, yeah, of course that girl was guarding the book, so I'm gonna have to beat her up for the clue, but after that, I'm going to head for the door, and after that I'm going to I don't know if I write the clue on the door or if I just say it, but anyway, the door opens and then you meet up with the trick master again, and he praises you for being able to complete this easy ass puzzle. And by the way, I mentioned this in a comment in the last video. I was planning on taking a break during the Olympics because there's actually going to be something to watch on TV for a change. And so I was planning to do that, but with the news that are bound to come up, because they said that on Pokémon Sunday on February 21st, that would be 20th here, because there's a 14-hour difference between here and Japan. But yeah, on the 20th we should know what exactly this Pokemon is, so naturally I'm gonna need to make a video about it, and if Koro spills the beans earlier, then I'm going to make that video earlier. And naturally, since the new games might be confirmed anytime, the announcement would take us by surprise, so I'd have to make a video for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to be on a really restricted schedule during the Olympics. If there's anything important and new that comes up, I'm going to make a video to talk about it, but otherwise, don't expect anything from me. And as for Mario 3, I'm gonna come back to it probably after the Olympics, but maybe, just maybe, depending on what happens in the next few days, I might be able to make 1 or maybe 2 videos on Mario 3, because I know some of you are waiting for me to come back to Mario 3, so I'm going to complete that game, of course. Well, I'm not gonna complete it this month or the next one, but I'm at least going to make some progress for once, because it's been, what, 2 months since I haven't touched it? So anyway, I am just about done with this maze here, so I'm going to get through the door and I'm going to cut this right there after that. And I'm curious to see what I do exactly with the code. I don't really remember, as I said. Oh, I write it on the door. Trickmaster is fabulous. Oh yeah, because the codes are all Trickmaster is something. Well, how about this? Trickmaster is fucking full of himself!